more in that area and who's also lacking in her male, if that makes sense the way I said it. So essentially, when you're balanced out in your male and female energies and you're connected to both of these, then you're essentially bound to attract people in your life who reflect this as well, who are also balanced in their energies, and it's going to come through in the relationship. So that's important to think about. And she mentions more about this, where I'm not going to get too far into it, about like when you need the relationship to feel secure, and you feel like in other things like this, and or you're looking for somebody to complete you and to, and it's also, yeah, so when you're looking for a relationship around someone completing you and that you need them to take care of you and this kind of thing, because the male and female energies are taking care of each other. Especially like the male energy takes care of the female by acting on what she wants. Essentially, she paints a beautiful picture of this. Like the female energy has the creative idea, has the wisdom, the knowledge, the this is, that this is what we need to do. And the male energy says, "Yes, ma'am, I'll do it for you. Let's go do it." You need both of these, like I said. And where was I going with that? um so when so in a relationship, when if you're looking for a relationship to complete you because you need them, an important thing to remember in this case is that you have all of these aspects inside of you. You have all of the qualities of a strong man. So if I'm talking to a woman right now, you have all of the qualities of a strong, powerful man. Whatever the quality is that you want in this man, you have all of those in yourself already. All of the male and female aspects of him are also in you, and vice versa. So as much as you're able to connect with these aspects of yourself is exactly what you're going to attract. And just knowing that you are already complete. You don't need somebody else. Like, you don't need somebody else to fill the part of you that's missing. It's not like you are the feminine and you need a masculine to come into your life and fill that masculine void that you don't have. What the truth is that you have both of those in you, and one of them is just being ignored or suppressed for many, a multitude of different reasons. Once you're able to bring those to light and to live in it fully, then you're going to attract other people who are so balanced, and yes, and all of that. So that's essentially what a tiny recap of this is. I'm going to go more into this in future episodes as I learn more about it, because it's quite interesting. And but I'm going to talk about a little bit about how I relate to this and what I've noticed in my life around my masculine and feminine energies. And actually, I feel like I'm really happy about to be learning about this, because I feel really balanced in mine right now. Like a great example is I've been reading books lately like crazy. I've never been one to read books. I have a blind eye, or a semi-blind eye, for those of you who don't know, and I feel like it's affected my reading throughout my life, because my eyes kind of tend to cross and all of this, and my retention has been so terrible from my experience in going to school. Reading was so difficult. And so I've always been an audiobook person, but I just started reading books and realized that when I'm reading the right books, I am great at it. So I've been reading all of those spiritual and personal development books that I never thought I'd be able to read, and now I'm reading them. But in that sentence, that's where my masculine and feminine energies are like going crazy right now, is because the spiritual books are, all of the spiritual books like this one, Living in the Light, planetary transformation, consciousness, all that stuff. That's my feminine energy getting sparked and riled up, and I'm connecting to source, and then I go meditate on it and all of that. And that's just my feminine energy just getting, to me, that's just how I'm firing up my feminine energy right now. And it's giving me all of this inspiration to be creative and to, all of these dreams that I have, and my intuition has been off the wall. Like I'm so in touch with my intuition and what I think is best for me, based on just how I'm feeling and the thoughts that come to my mind at a certain time and all of this. I feel really connected to the universe right now, and that's all through the feminine energy. And but then, like I said, I need the male energy to actually put these thoughts into action in my life. I can't just keep reading books and not doing anything about what I'm reading. Like, I need to actually put action to it. So, and then yeah, so then that's the spiritual books. And then I'm also reading a bunch of personal development books, which, as you probably know, is a way more male dominated thing. Spirituality is much more female dominated, and personal development is more male dominated. And I'm super passionate about both of them, like pretty equally. So I love all of the personal development books. I just finished Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is more of like a money book, but money, personal development all kind of goes hand in hand. So I just read that book and I loved it. And so I've gone back and forth between the spiritual and the personal development books. And so I'm going back and forth. And then now I'm listening to an audio lecture it's called Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. Highly recommended. Oh my gosh, I'm like vibrating after listening to this thing. Like, it is so powerful. Has a lot to do with the law of attraction, but it is like nothing I've ever heard before, where it's actually a ex brotherhood member, if I'm getting this correctly. He was in like the secret societies that run the world, essentially, like the places that Bill Gates and all of the most rich and famous billionaires in the planet are in these secret societies, like the Illuminati and those kind of things, right? They're all a part of these. There's one's called the Brotherhood, and I don't know, they're all different ones. Anyways, this guy, Kevin Trudeau, he used to be one of the high-ranking members in these secret societies, and he's come out with this course, or he's teaching this course, and is essentially giving you the full secret to the law of attraction and manifesting, and literally having anything in the world that you want at your fingertips. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I already know a lot about law of attraction. I'm like, and I was like listening, I'm like, okay, well, let's see, like, what else can I learn about it, right? Need to be open to it. But he goes on to say that most of the books you read on the law of attraction and all of this is not the full story, because they don't want you to, they, meaning like the really powerful and elite people running the whole world, don't want you to know, because they want to keep running the world. They don't want people to know how powerful they truly are. So anyways, I'm getting off on a kind of a tangent on this one, but anyways, please go listen to that audio, because it'll change your life. I'm dead serious. It'll change your freaking life. It's quite long though. It's like many hours but it's broken down into like hour segments. Anyways, so just listening to that though is like, that's really masculine in the way of, yes, the law of attraction is this, there's a spiritual aspect of it, but especially as I'm listening to speakers that are really powerful billionaires who are running the world, and who are in these secret societies that are really, like, to me it's kind of scary. Like, I don't know if about you, but it's so unknown and so secretive, and who knows what happens behind there, and like there's so much on the line, and that much money can really make people crazy, I think, for sure, and greedy, and it's scary stuff, and it's very masculine. So as I learn from people like that, it's really good that I'm also counteracting it with books like this, Living in the Light. I'm going back and forth between, okay, how can I become a millionaire? Or, like, yeah, exactly. Like books that are, having my mind go towards all of these ways of making different amounts of money, and attracting all of this success, and all of the physical success that I want. And then I counteract it with, having this, not even counteract, it's like the opposite of the word I should be using. Because it doesn't counteract it, it actually like makes it more. I don't even know what the word would be for that, but the spiritual side is so important. I couldn't even get to that level of success if I didn't have the spiritual side of myself. So anyway, so that's a really long way of saying that, but the books I'm reading, essentially, I have very like masculine books, very feminine books, and then they're really balancing my masculine and feminine energies right now. However, even that, like learning about these books, reading these books and getting super inspired about it and thinking about all the things that I'm going to do in my life and all of this, visualizing all of the things, that's still kind of in my feminine energy in total, even with the kind of masculine books, because that's still going to my inspiration and it's still in my head. So it's really important for me to act on these books, to use my masculine energy to act on what I'm reading. So like an example of this is I had my intuition tell me, and I had that kind of spiritual download from the universe about how I should be public speaking and starting the podcast, and how I'm meant to do a lot more than just be an artist. That was the download. That was the feminine part. That was my feminine energy that received that. And then my male energy is what actually got my ass up and started the podcast, a few weeks after that. So it's the ability to act on it. And in my, obviously, like, my intuition told me that traveling is for me right now. I need to, literally quit my life out here and go travel and start a whole new life as a traveling artist, podcaster. That was the message, and I received it and I acted on it with my male energy. So that's great. Like, I'm really happy that I'm able to act on it in a, on the big life decisions. I feel like I'm really balanced in this. However, I think where I could grow is in the smaller kind of decisions and kind of more the day-to-day things, where I think that I have a lot of inspiration every day and I have this vision of myself and it's unwavering, and I know for sure 100%, my success is inevitable. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be all of this. Like, I have all of these visions and all of these ideas and all of the things I want to do and that I will do. However, I need to do more in taking action towards it. So my female energy in total, I'd say, is more prominent than my male energy right now in life, because of course I've been, a spiritual gypsy, hanging out on the beach every day and painting and meditating, and I've been so connected with my feminine. And my masculine has been a little bit less, because I'm not really in the hustle and bustle of living in, Vancouver and working and doing all these things, because I'm not as focused on the money making aspect of it right now. I'm focused on the internal work and the introspection and the learning, which is also very important. So I'm happy with where I'm at, but I am aware that my masculine is going to need to get kicked into overdrive soon, especially as I go to New Zealand. So I think I've definitely mentioned, obviously I've mentioned I'm going to New Zealand, but like, I don't know if I mentioned I'm going to be staying there for about 6 months and working and living in a van and all that, traveling around. But I want to paint murals down there to make some actual money, and I'll be painting murals in the Philippines as well, but that's trading for accommodation. But when I get to New Zealand, since I'm going to be there for so long and their dollar is much better than it is in the Philippines, of course, I'm going to actually make some money. So that's where my male energy is going to need to get kicked into overdrive, because I need to actually take action on a lot of these things. And especially also with my vision of the podcast, like, I need to do more around, like, the visions I have for this podcast are huge, but I'm kind of doing the minimum. I'm just posting an episode every week. I'm not getting that many guests on yet. Like, I have more I need to do. I'm doing a lot of being. I love being. I love my own company, and I love all of this. If I could just be all the time, honestly, I'd be so happy. But I know that I need to do more. So that's where I'm a little imbalanced and ready to get balanced pretty quick here. And yeah, so that's me. That's my male and female. I'd love to hear about what yours is. And so send me a message, or actually, if you could leave me a review. Since it's my birthday, I'll ask one more time. No, not one more time. I'm going to keep asking. Please leave me a review wherever, on Spotify if you're listening, or I think iTunes is the best place to do it for some reason. That's where you can actually write something. But anyways, if you want to, send me a little birthday present, then either one, write me a little review, or two, and or